All right, let's talk about an interview strategy that I think you might be missing, one that goes way beyond just polishing up your resume. We're going to break down a system that's designed to help you perform at your absolute best, especially when the pressure is on. It's called the behavioral story deck. So let me ask you something. You ever walk into an interview, you sit down, the stakes feel super high, and all those amazing stories you have about your work, all those killer examples, they just evaporate? Gone. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are so not alone. It's actually a totally normal psychological response. I mean, these high stakes moments are basically designed to overload our brains, making it feel almost impossible to think straight. But what if there was a system, something that could help you just bypass that mental fog completely? A way to pull up your best evidence, your best stories instantly, even when you're feeling the heat? Well, that system is exactly what we're talking about today. Okay, so to really get why this is such a game changer, we have to talk about the new challenge that everybody's facing in interviews right now. Look, the rules have changed. Interviews aren't just about listing your credentials anymore. They demand more than just having the right answers. They demand proof. Just saying you have experience isn't enough. You've got to show them the evidence of how you think, how you act, and how you solve problems. And that right there brings us to the solution. This is the whole idea we're digging into, the story deck. Think of it as your own personal library of proof. So what is it exactly? Well, a story deck is a structured, strategic collection of your most important professional experiences. And the key word, the most important word there, is evidence. It's not a list of feelings, it's a library of behavioral proof. And let's be super clear on the difference here. Your resume, that's a list of what you did, your achievements. But a story deck, that shows how you operate. It's the difference between just making a claim and actually providing the concrete evidence to back it up. You know, the best way to think about it is like this. Imagine you have a deck of strategic cards. Each card is one of your powerhouse stories, a perfect piece of evidence, and you can just choose which one to play at exactly the right moment. Okay, so let's get into the why. The psychology of why this works so incredibly well, especially when you're under pressure. Honestly, this is where it starts to feel like a superpower. When you're in that interview, your brain can literally perceive it as a threat. And that kicks off this whole chain reaction, right? Your cognitive load just skyrockets. Your working memory gets totally overwhelmed. And all of a sudden, trying to retrieve a good, relevant story feels impossible. That's the science behind why we freeze up or just start rambling. So your brain can go down one of two paths. The unprepared brain goes straight into cognitive overload, memory failure, maybe a little panic. But the prepared brain, the one with a story deck, has already done the heavy mental lifting. The load is reduced, pulling up a story is instant, and you can speak with total clarity and control. And this all connects back to a really powerful idea called the signal chain. It works like this. It starts with your core identity. That shapes your behavior. Your behavior creates your experiences. When you structure those experiences, they become powerful stories. And those stories send a clear signal about who you are as a professional. The story deck is the tool that lines up that entire chain for you. All right, so you've got this psychological advantage locked in. Now, how do you actually use it in the moment? Let's talk about the strategy of playing the right card at the right time.
Okay, so the interviewer asks a classic question like this one. Now, this isn't really just a question, it's a cue. They're asking you for a very specific piece of evidence. They're asking for a specific card from your deck.
The unprepared person, they start scrambling through their entire memory, tell a kind of messy story, and probably lose the main point along the way. But you, the prepared candidate, you hear that question, you identify the skill they're testing for, prioritization, and you mentally select the perfect story from your deck and deliver it as clean, structured proof. And when you can do this, you're operating on a whole other level. You're not just answering questions anymore. You're demonstrating professional pattern recognition. You're hearing the real need behind the question and delivering a targeted, evidence-based response. It's so much more powerful. But here's where things get really interesting. The story deck isn't just a tool for interviews. Its value goes way, way deeper. It actually becomes this powerful tool for self-awareness, like a behavioral mirror. Now, this isn't your average mirror. It doesn't reflect how you're feeling on a particular day or what you think you're like. No, this is a behavioral mirror. It shows you what you consistently do based on the cold, hard evidence of your own actions. And when you build this deck and you really look into that mirror, you start to see the most incredible things. You see your true natural strengths. You see these recurring themes and how you solve problems, your signature leadership patterns. And yeah, you'll even see your blind spots. You get this incredibly objective view of how you really operate. And having that kind of self-awareness, it completely transforms the story deck from just a one-time interview trick into something far more valuable, a lifelong career asset. I mean, once you've built it, you'll find yourself pulling from it all the time. You'll use it when you're making a case for a promotion, preparing for a performance review, mentoring someone on your team, or just communicating with more impact and presence as a leader. Really, what it becomes is a portable career identity. It's this living, breathing, curated library of your best proof that grows and evolves right alongside you throughout your entire career. So, the takeaway here is pretty clear. It's time to build your story deck. It's time to turn all that raw experience you have into structured, powerful stories that you can tell with total confidence. If you're ready to get started, just head over to the creator's profile. You'll find tools and videos there to help you do exactly that.